What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all had an amazing new year, and I wish blessings upon all you for the next year. In today's episode, we're going to be getting back to work on our E30, and we need to mount this C-Pillar right here. So we're gonna head over to O'Reilly's and get a couple things. We need panel bond, and we're going to need primer for this piece right here because I want to prime everything underneath before we weld anything in. So let's go ahead and head over there and see what we need.
So we got Big Dog Ryan in the house. He's hooking it up.
All right, so we're going to get this 3M panel bond adhesive. This stuff is really strong. We always use it and it always works well. I think it's gonna hold it very nicely. We also need some self-etching. Is this good stuff, Ryan?
That's Motorhead.
That's good
It's
stuff.
better than your duplicate color.
It's pretty expensive though, ain't it?
It is.
I think we're gonna get the green stuff.
I don't know, but if he's saying that's better, you might.
I mean, it is better, of course.
How much do you think that can is, though?
Oh, about 30 bucks.
Oh, 30 bucks.
How much is the edge? Probably
10 bucks.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the other stuff, but
We're gonna
we
go
are
with the
gonna
army
get
green
this.
stuff.
This right here is like 80 bucks, so
Is it?
yeah, it's expensive. But it's
Everything.
worth it. It's worth every penny. So we're gonna get this, and we're gonna go get the etch out front. And you think we need anything else?
No, I think we're good for now.
Maybe seam sealer, but
No, that'll be ready last.
yeah, we'll get that later. All right, so let's get this, and then let's get back to the shop. All right, guys, so we're back at the shop, and we got our materials. But before we start, the guy for the Miata is actually here, so we're gonna go record his reaction and give the car away. I hate that it's raining, man. You can't really see it, but
That looks so good.
yeah.
What do you think?
Dream come to life, man. Yeah, that's sweet.
And
Little emblem there.
we didn't even really have to buff it. All we did was buff out the trash. So the paint job turned out beautiful. And everything went together nicely. You see, remember I was showing you, like, because you don't have these things, so. And
Yeah,
honestly,
it wanted you to, like, the directions for the fenders came with, like, stencil to cut out the fender liners, but your guy's just gonna throw rocks.
there's a puddle there, and this whole thing just
Just
had
splash all the way
dirt
through.
and rocks.
Yeah.
Like, look, it literally looks like a real vent.
Sweet, too.
Yeah.
It does look better higher.
I love it. It's, and then we had to remake these brackets completely.
Yeah.
I showed you the pictures.
Yeah, I mean, those came out really good, too, though. You can't even tell. It's, like,
Yeah.
extended.
Yeah, if you want, you can go open the roof and see how it.
Look how low it is. I've been driving our Infinity. Perfect fit, yeah.
At first, I thought there was sensors there, but I'm
Yeah.
really glad there's no sensors there because, like, it just slips
Yeah,
in.
it
Yeah, dude, just let it cure and just enjoy it, and then eventually get it PPF, and
Yeah.
you'll never have to worry about anything. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get onto this car. So for now, we're probably just gonna strip everything down, and we need to get this C-Pillar off and everything. That way we can see where we need to grind it down and clean it up, because panel bond does need metal to adhere properly. So I'm thinking to get, since this is in a spot, I'm going to get a Sharpie and outline it around every edge and corner. That way we know exactly where we need to grind it down and where the contact points are going to be. So let's get this off right after we mark it. So we got this off, and to surface it down, we're going to use the belt sander, but unfortunately we're out of belts, so we're gonna head over to CarQuest, get some belts, and get this knocked out. So we want to get this knocked out, so we sent Dad to go get the belts, and while he gets the belts, we're gonna use this roll-off disc right here with our trusty old Milwaukee, and we're gonna start cleaning up all these areas right here. That way the panel bond will adhere very nicely. So let's get it all cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. So this roller disc is really nice because it doesn't heat it up and it doesn't warp anything. And also, if you guys are wondering, this is an E30. We went ahead and marked it, that way people would know. But look at this, guys, it's perfect. And this is gonna be perfect for that little groove, as you can see on that panel right there. And once it just gets panel bonded in, I think for now what we'll do is the same thing we did on the quarter panels. We'll self-tap it and make sure everything's holding very nicely. And once the panel bond dries, the piece will be held on, and we'll take those self-tappers out and put rivets. So let's get this done, and then we'll start fitting it up. Okay, so we got everything ground down very nicely. That is great. Next, what I want to do is go ahead and prep all this area because this is all going to get covered. So since we got the etching primer, I'm going to sand everything down. We're going to clean up under here and probably go, what do you think? We should probably go ahead and just get all this rust off and do everything.
Well, maybe we could we'll do just this part. It's gonna take a while to do all that. We'd want to seam it, do it
all right,
right.
maybe, yeah, we'll just do this section. That way all this is done right here and we can get that C-Pillar on for good. So let's get all this cleaned up. I'm thinking just sand it down with the 180, and once everything's sanded down very nicely, we're just gonna prime it all. All right, guys, so we're going to start off by wire wheeling everything, and then we'll feather in all the edges with sandpaper. A lot of people are complaining about us not using PPF, so Yuri over at 23rd Garage, he went and copped this. So we're gonna use this, that way we're protected, and we'll start getting all this cleaned up and get it primed. All right, so we got it all nice and clean. As you can see, sanded all this down, and this whole lip had rust on it, so I sanded it down to the metal. So we're gonna have to etch all of this. So Vlad's about to clean it up, and then we'll get it all etched, and then I'd say we're ready to put that thing on. Wouldn't you say?
After we etch it.
Yeah, so let's get this all nice and cleaned, and then we'll put that piece on. All right, guys, so we went ahead and threw edge down, and if you're wondering why I threw edge everywhere, it's because I don't know exactly where it's going to be underneath there. So I wanted to do everything, and once we test fit this piece, we can grind only where we need to panel bond it and go from there. Here, Yuri actually gave me a very good idea. I'm going to grind this down to the metal here, and I'm going to lay down fiberglass kitty hair here. So when we lay this piece down, I'll put a self-tapper through and make it to where it's perfectly flush, and it's going to be squeezed up against the, like it's all gonna be sandwiched together, and then we'll just cut that head off and it's gonna be very strong. So that's probably what we'll do next. We'll let this dry and put that piece on. That way we can see where we need to grind some more, and then we'll grind it up, throw some panel bond and the kitty here, and get this mounted. And I'm really excited, guys, because wouldn't you say, but this is literally the last piece, you know?
Yeah, this is, we just need to mount this and then
once this is
body
mounted,
work.
Well, this piece, and then obviously this little piece that goes inside there, we're going to have to etch the back of it and get it fitted in there and weld it. We'll even screw it down, and it'll panel bond to this little drip tray here, and it's going to be perfect. And then in the next episode, we're just gonna run through it, just get all the body work done, reprime the whole car, you know, do all the final adjustments, and then literally we can get it painted.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be
painted,
awesome.
put together, NA.
Yeah,
and
NA. Running, my goal is to get it running and driving into the paint booth before I paint it. So if we get that motor from Goon Squad, we can just drop everything in there and start it up. So let's get this done, and then we'll go from there. All right, so here's our piece, and I've been prepping it. I grinded down every edge where there's contact, and then I'm still going to have to grind down here because there will be contact here with the fiberglass. So we'll grind all that and this together. So it's been a long time coming to get this piece mounted, and I'm very happy. It went very smoothly, and I kind of just put up the trunk to it. It's looking like everything is lining up. I am going to put the hinges on and fully test fit it, make sure everything's perfect. But I think next we're going to do this piece right here. And as you can see, this is literally awesome right here because literally I'm just going to block this out till it's perfect and then apply another coat over everything. That way this and this is perfectly smooth to each other. And then what we'll do is to get a grinder and to just cut that gap out. That way it mimics the original E30M3 and it's all going to be perfect because this way we can actually control the gap size and everything, and we can set it exactly how we want it. So very awesome. Big shout out to Yuri. He gave me that idea and it worked beautifully. So now we're probably going to go ahead and start surfacing that piece. That way we can etch the bottom so it doesn't rust.
My car doesn't need it. The roll cage is rusty for performance only.
Performance only.
This is a little bit of panel bug because we didn't weld her in real good. We got a screw here holding her.
That's a deck screw.
Oh, is it a I see.
That's maximum tensile pressure.
It is, isn't it? I see all these high class
Sail tappers.
self tappers you got here.
I'm gonna replace them with rivets once it dries.
Wouldn't even just grind them down. We're just not step on that.
Oh yeah, I'm about to paint this and Jason's just over here stepping on my stuff.
Lay on the ground. This is important.
All right guys, so we got it sanded. I'm gonna get it cleaned off and throw some edge primer on it and we'll be good to go. Okay, so the piece is in, fits beautifully, and as you can see, here's our plan. We're just going to panel bond it here and weld it here. I do not want to install it yet because I want all this to dry. That way it's perfect because I don't want this to be buttoned up against it stuff and risk ruining this because this, man, it's perfect. It's in a spot, it's very stout. I can't wait till it all dries. Once it dries, we'll grind all this down with the 80 grit and we'll just apply more fiberglass and perfect it and everything is just going to be beautiful. Now I want to actually put the trunk on with the hinges and make sure everything's good and then we'll see what it looks like. What do you think, Yuri?
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks very good.
I think what I need to definitely get a trunk latch. That way I can, because I lost mine.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so I can get it locked in there and focus on. I mean, it needs to go forward a bit. It needs some adjustment and some body work, but nothing that we can't handle.
You definitely want to get that latch before you start doing any serious body work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, just to get it knocked out. But your idea worked well, dude. I'm just gonna have to. What do you think? You think I should grind this down, put more in?
Yeah, probably should have pushed this in more, but I'm guessing.
There's nothing to grab here because that piece is right here. So I kind of panicked in the moment and it dried up, so it messed up. But I mean,
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to grind it down a bit and work it. Put another coat of fiberglass on it.
Yeah, because it's a little higher, but that's not a big deal. It's just sanding, I guess.
Yeah.
What goes here? Oh, this strip right here?
That strip right there. And I actually have a friend who has an M3 and he sent me detailed pictures, and even on the original M3, it kind of looks like it's not supposed to be there, you know? So I'm not really worried about that.
Very nice.
Smooth that out. You want some flavor for your drink?
Yeah, let me get some of that panel bond. So
But-
what's next?
Yeah, probably mount this piece and then
Trim it.
yeah, trim it, get it panel bonded to here, and after that, I can literally start doing body work.
Oh, you know what you should do right here, Mark?
What?
Don't trim it. Just possibly score it and then bend it down.
Ooh, bend it down.
That way you don't have to like weld that corner or anything, and it'll be nice and sturdy and it'll look good.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Maybe we can do a little collab video.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What about the roll cage? You gotta weld that in too, don't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
gonna do
decided
that?
I'm gonna weld it in because reason being is because remember how Ben did his and only the wheel well was left exposed. So pretty much I can do the exact same interior delete Ben did with the cage welded in because it won't be in the way because this is the part we. Dang, it needs some rust treatment. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
I need to go get some Loctite rust remover like we did on the 550. But dude, I'm so happy with the results, man.
Yeah, it's shaping up. It's starting to look like a car. What
Yeah.
about the bumper? Found a way to mount that?
Yeah, I did. I think what I'm going to do, you see these holes? I'm going to panel bond L brackets off of the bumper with studs on them, you know? And just panel bond the whole back. Maybe even put a rivet in there, you know, so the brackets hold on well.
Yeah. You know what I would do if I was you?
What?
I would
Bless you. He said sorry.
I would do an L bracket that is either bolted or welded to the car, like possibly like along the whole length. You know, like how Accords have them, and then that bumper will just slide right onto that, and you don't have to do any panel bonding or anything. It'll just hold it and it'll bolt on the sides.
Oh yeah,
You see what I'm saying? You already have the holes here and the contact points, so literally an angle iron all the way across, and that angle iron will keep that bumper flat. You know what I mean?
Yup.
Like you got the perfect way to do it right there. Yeah. And like when you remove it, it'll just come right off of that and then slide right back on.
Oh, and so you're saying that'll hold it and it'll mount on the sides.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
you'll mount
yeah.
it.
Kind of how the original.
That's how it is right here. You see this?
Dang, that's smart.
Yep.
That's gonna be the easiest way because I'm glad you thought of that because look, I'm good here. I have room to. All I need to do is just cut this smooth, and then I have room to build a plate from both sides to where it bolts to it. So
Sweet.
my only issue was here, but with that, that's gonna be perfect. It's gonna hold it in its
And
spot.
then we still have to fix this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take care of that one of these days. Maybe next year.
Yeah, we'll do it next year. But
What about the actual bumper, the rebar? You have
I'm gonna have to build like a bash bar style because the original one, the bumper is the actual reinforcement bar because it's all metal, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so we can't use it.
that makes sense.
But
I mean,
it's-
it shouldn't be a big deal.
Nope. I'm really happy with this, man. It's starting to look like an M3. I just love what I love is how even that trunk gap is, man. I was stressing about that. Like, how am I gonna get that right?
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Man, it's gonna look good.
Yeah,
It's gonna look good. Where did Greg see that red one that you were showing me?
a dealership,
Where, over there? And
Ohio. Yeah, there's like a M1 there too.
how much were they wanting for it? Do you know?
Dude, in that condition, that car was probably like 120,000. B&W E30M3 Evo sold on auction for 250 grand. That's like what this kit is. You see, it has like the adjustable.
I like that, the adjustable downforce.
And then it has that lip, and then it has a little splitter that goes under that lip. Yeah, the Evo is like the sport version of the M3.
So do you think that this spoiler actually creates downforce?
Oh yeah, dude, this is a DTM car. Look, E30, B&W, they were struggling with aerodynamics, and Mercedes was beating them. And so they thought, you know what we can do? We're gonna save money, and we're just gonna pretty much build this piece that just goes on over an original E30.
Oh.
That way they didn't have to remake the whole body, and this is literally wind tunnel designed to be streamlined and like built. It's literally built for the track. That's why this car, dude, this car, do you know how much awards it's won? The DTM E30 is literally a legendary race car.
Really?
Yeah, that's where all the history comes from. And it's pretty cool that B&W did that, you know?
Yeah. And the thing about it is, like, when Mark first ordered this kit, I was like skeptical about it. I was like, what is even the difference? I didn't know anything about these cars. So if you don't know much about these M3s, you need to go and look at a regular E30.
Yeah,
And
a lot
then,
of people don't know.
Yeah, then compare and contrast, because like if you look at a regular E30, man, it's night and day difference.
Oh yeah, imagine, especially if like you have two sitting next to each other, it's like no ass at all. Like
because these are so wide and it's got these nice lines.
Yeah,
I really
dude.
like the design, like of the quarter, the lines, and then the trunk, the way it overlaps and just sits on it.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it shouldn't be like that, but it is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cause it's literally a bolt-on part.
So
Like
they like slapped it
yeah,
on
they
top.
slapped it on top of an E30.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Can't wait to see it done, man.
You and me both.
What about the motor? What did you think about that?
Just gonna get Goon Squad's NA.
NA, but it's going to stay S2K.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, look at that. It's all built already, ready for it.
Literally just need a.
I literally just need a running motor. Because this motor is blown.
What about the steering and the clearance? Are we gonna use that oil pan? Remember
Yeah.
we had to modify the pan.
I think what we should start with is trying to lift the motor up a bit. And then work from there. Okay guys, and just like that, we got it mounted and I'm very happy with all the results. I'm going to give this 24 hours to dry. So we're not gonna work on it. We're gonna let it all harden up 100%. That way I can work out that fiberglass and start making that gap. And also I really want a trunk latch before I do anything. So I'm going to get that order and I'm going to let this cure. And in the next episode, we should have our suspension for the CLS 63 AMG. So we can go ahead and drop that suspension on and get started on that car. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around for more. And drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Also, don't forget to drop a follow on Instagram at motorhead.co for an inside scoop. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.